Yeah, I got
Yeah,
not in my group.
but close enough.
Yeah,
In
somebody
your
from
work
work
group. Yeah.
Yeah.
hit up. Yeah,
So
and
that's what
so
made you
yeah,
decide to get the shot.
yeah. So I got it. I got in the call and was like, "Oh man, like Eddie's sick. You might want to get checked out." And so I this was about December. This is like later, just like just after Christmas of 2021.
Hmm.
And yeah, I went and I got checked out, and they were like, "Oh, hey, yeah, you're sick. You need to quarantine for the entire
Oh,
month
so you did
instead
get
of the
COVID.
2 weeks." Yeah, I did get
Oh,
COVID. So
okay.
I'd gotten the COVID, and my doctor told me to quarantine for a whole month. Usually it's 2 weeks, but my doctor said, you're probably gonna more than likely give it to your family, which I did, unfortunately. And so they're gonna need to quarantine. So just quarantine, tough it out together for that month, and then you guys should be good. And so I did that, and was okay. Didn't like I'd lost my taste. I had little hard time breathing, but it wasn't anything too serious at first. And so I went through and I'd gotten my first Pfizer shot probably about like March-ish, like March or April. And it knocked me down for a day. I was feeling terrible, but I got back up. It was just like a
Yeah.
little adverse reaction at first. So, it was good. I went back to work, and a couple months later, I went down and I'd gotten my second shot. That's when they came out with a second. They'd recommended getting a second follow-up shot. So
Hmm.
I went through and did the same thing. It knocked me down, and I was down for a day, like really bad for a day. And I got up, but I'm not quite sure that my body really fully recovered. And kind of after that month, there was just always something wrong. Like I would get sick, which I usually don't. I would get sick and stay sick for a couple weeks, and yeah, it was kind of nasty. But it wasn't until about like I want to say like June-ish. Um, we were working. We were getting ready for the bosses to come in, cleaning up the shop, everything, and was getting ready for work one day, and I just kind of like waking up as a mason. We would go in probably like 3 or 4 in the morning and work
Mhm.
till like 1 or 2.
Wow.
And so yeah, I would get up in the morning, and I just remember getting up and having some like pain in my legs. I was a little shaky, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, but I didn't really pay attention to it. I was just like, I'm probably tired.
Yeah.
I was sore. I would rub my legs out and when I was on break and everything. And I'm like, okay, this will pass. I'm probably just like overdoing it because we're getting ready for the bosses to come in. And so,
What was the
yeah,
soreness like, Randy? Was it like a muscle type? Anything that you had experienced before?
it was n- kind of. It was like it really felt like it was like my legs. It was really in my thighs. My
Hmm.
thighs around my knees would get like, well, my thighs and like toward my knees, they would get really like, it kind of felt like my muscles were getting really stiff and rigid, and so
Yeah.
they would burn a
Yeah.
little bit.
So
So yeah,
different than the pain like you might have after working out or something.
yeah.
Different than that.
And
Yeah.
it would stay around all day was the one thing that really kind of maybe should have tipped me off a little sooner.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I remember going on my breaks and just being like, oh man, I'm like, it feels like I'm really sore. Maybe I just need to stretch, and like maybe I can rub it out or anything. But after sitting, it actually felt like it would get worse.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
would like it wouldn't, like nothing would go away, and I would just kind of like, all right, let's go. So by Tuesday, by Wednesday for sure, I was like, oh man, this is like something's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I went through work. I was like, okay, it's a little weird. Tuesday, same thing, kind of got up and had a little trouble getting up again. And I thought that was strange again, but I was feeling sore the day before. It's like, it's probably nothing, maybe just a little tight, and then get the day going. It wasn't until Wednesday that I actually started really having troubles like trying to stand and trying to balance, and then I started having walking issues.
Mhm.
So I could you could tell, I could definitely tell. I'm sure
Yeah.
other people could
Yeah.
see too. Like I was trying to have, keep my normal gait, but it was just a very rigid. All my walking was very rigid. And so was just in burning pain. I just could not think of anything, could not do anything to like make it go away. So
Now you know
yeah, that's
something's
kind of
up.
like how it, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, I made it through and, was like, all right, maybe I'm really sore. So, I was trying to hang out on like a Saturday, that following Saturday, got a day. I was like, cool, I can hang out, I can really relax. And I was trying to walk around, and my mom was like, hey, what's wrong with you?
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I don't know. My legs kind of hurt. I'm having this burning sensation. I'm, some trouble breathing, but like, I think I'm just sore. I think I'm just like overdoing it and overworking my body, picking up all these heavy stones and blocks and cutting everything, building and palletizing. And I was like, think I'm okay. And then as I said that, my right leg kind of gave out, and I almost fell. I caught myself, luckily, but I almost fell. And she was like, "Yeah, maybe we should take you to the hospital. That
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's nothing."
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, I went through, and they'd just like, well, at first they kind of threw the book at me. They were like, you're diabetic, like you have blood clots, they just kind of, we're gonna do a barrage of tests and we're gonna figure it out. And so I was like, okay, you're the doctor, please let me know what's going on so I can take care of that. Yeah.
So already had been diagnosed with diabetes, or
No. So that's the
so
thing.
this is just a theory of theirs.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
just
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, no,
hypothesizing based on the. You're saying, "Oh, I'm young," because you were like 29 at that time, right?
yeah,
Roughly.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was 28, 29.
Yeah, so you're like, I'm young and I'm tough. I can do this until your body was like, sit down,
Exactly.
sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No more. We
Yeah,
need a break here. Yeah, exactly.
So they're stumped, but they're like, let's do some tests.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. It's probably nothing too crazy, but we'll figure it out. And so they went through, they did chest x-rays, they did x-rays of my legs. They went through with a what is that the device where they ultrasound. They did ultrasounds
Okay.
on my legs to check for blood clots and everything. They tested my A1C, everything, just threw the book at me, and they came back, and I was like, hey, what's up? Like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with me?
How long till this
And the
is
doctor,
over? Yeah.
yeah, and then the doctor was like, we actually didn't find anything wrong with you. Like, your A1C is fine. Like, your heart looked a little enlarged, but it wasn't cause for alarm or anything. Um, you have no blood clots. Your blood flow is fine. Let's just kind of like, she said, and I quote, I'm just going to discharge you and hopefully we don't see you again. So they had no idea what was
Wow.
going on still yet yeah. And so after that, I'd went into the hospital because I'd almost fallen again. And, at this point, I'd started losing feeling actually from the bottom of my feet, and it started slowly, daily, it was creeping up, and it got up into my neck, and I was just kind of
Wow.
had no feeling whatsoever. It was just like it was impossible to walk. I didn't want to, like I can't feel anything. I don't want to take the chance of like stepping and then going down, anything like that. So,
And at this point,
yeah.
has it entered your mind at all that maybe this is related to either having COVID or the shot?
Not at all.
Yeah,
I did not think about it because, there's so little known about it at that time when it
Sure.
happened. Yeah, I had no clue. I was just surprised. I never even thought about it until, we went through and they did a bunch of testing. I was like, maybe it's something bigger, that I've never heard of or whatever. So they did a bunch of like,
This is more
also-
tests
Yeah,
after
yeah.
the original one. So once the numbness
Yeah.
started, They said, all right, let's check some more things out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they